Number 1. The Thoroughbred. You are born at 4 in the morning in a straw-bedded stall in Kentucky, and someone is already watching. That is the first thing you need to understand about this life. Someone is always watching. A man with a clipboard notes the exact time of your arrival. Another checks your legs. Your mother nuzzles you, and you are given maybe 20 minutes of that before the world starts making other plans. You are a thoroughbred. You were not bred for companionship or for plowing fields or for carrying children on gentle trail rides. You were bred for one thing, and that one thing costs a lot of money. And the people who own you would like to start seeing a return on their investment as soon as your legs are long enough to carry you to a starting gate. You grow fast. Everything about your life moves fast. Your bones are long and elegant, and your chest is deep and your heart, and this is not a metaphor, this is literal anatomy. Your heart is enormous. Some thoroughbreds carry a genetic quirk that produces a heart nearly 3 times the normal size. It is called the X factor. You may have it, you will not know until you run. You are put into training at 18 months, which is young, which your skeleton will have opinions about later, but later is not a concern anyone is managing right now. You learn the gait. You learn the track. You learn that the sound of a crowd is not something to fear, but something to run toward. Your first race happens, and one of 2 things is true. Either you are fast enough or you are not. If you are fast enough, your life becomes a compressed circuit of tracks and stalls and early mornings and the smell of liniment and the particular electricity of a race day. You run, you win sometimes, you place sometimes, you break down sometimes. Legs are the liability of your design. All that speed carried on limbs that were never quite engineered to sustain it indefinitely. A bowed tendon, a hairline fracture. These are not rare. These are the occupational hazards of being built like this. If you are very fast, you become famous. Your name gets said on television. People who have never touched a horse in their lives have opinions about you. If you are fast and you stay sound, you retire to a breeding farm where your job becomes considerably more leisurely, and you live out your years in a large field being very well fed. If you are not fast enough, you are sold, and sold again. You may end up as a show jumper or an eventing horse or a trail horse with a patient owner who appreciates your sensitivity and your fire even if you never won a race. You are not a bad horse. You were just expensive to keep in a world that measures horses in seconds. Number 2. The Shetland Pony. You are very small and you are very aware of it, which is why you have developed the personality of someone who refuses to be underestimated. You come from the Shetland Islands off the northern coast of Scotland, which are cold and windswept and not particularly hospitable, and this has made you extremely tough in a way that your current situation, standing in a suburban paddock while a 6-year-old attempts to put a flower crown on your head, does not fully reflect. Your ancestors survived on seaweed and grit. You have survived on stubbornness and the strategic deployment of your own opinions. You are, pound for pound, one of the strongest horses on earth. You can pull twice your own body weight. In the 19th century, Shetland ponies were sent into coal mines because they were small enough to fit in the tunnels and strong enough to haul the carts. You did that for generations. You worked in the dark with a patience and a durability that the large horses above ground could not match. This is your history. This is what you came from. And now a child is crying because you will not go faster than a walk, and her mother is saying maybe the pony is tired, and you are not tired. You simply disagree with the direction. You are smart. This is sometimes framed as a problem. You learn quickly, which means you also learn quickly how to avoid doing things you do not want to do. You learn that if you stop suddenly, the small human slides off the front. You learn that the gate latch can be worked open from the inside if you apply pressure in exactly the right place. You learn that a certain expression of mild interest will make humans believe you are cooperating when you are, in fact, waiting. You live a long time. 30 years is not unusual for you. and you spend those years being underestimated by people who see your size and assume simplicity. You are not simple. You are a Shetland. There is a meaningful difference. Number 3, the Clydesdale. You are large. You are very, very large. You weigh somewhere between 1,800 and 2,200 pounds, and when you walk across a field, the ground registers your presence in a way that is not subtle. Your hooves are the size of dinner plates, and they are fringed with long, silky feathering that fans out with every step, which sounds decorative, but is actually a practical adaptation from your Scottish origins, where the feathering helped protect your lower legs from the wet and the cold. You are a working horse. You were built to pull, not to race, not to jump, not to perform delicate dressage movements in an arena, to pull heavy things across long distances without complaint. You were the engine of agriculture for over a century. Before tractors existed, you and horses like you turned the soil of entire continents. A Clydesdale working a farm would cover 20 miles in a single day behind a plow. You did this reliably, day after day, season after season, with a temperament so steady and so good-natured that farmers trusted you around children and machinery and the general chaos of a working farm without hesitation. You are not a nervous animal. You have the calm of something that has never needed to be nervous because very little in the world is large enough to threaten you. Your numbers dropped sharply when tractors arrived and the world stopped needing you in the fields. You went from nearly 1 million registered Clydesdales in the early 20th century to a population so reduced that the breed was considered vulnerable for decades. You survived because people loved you, not for your utility anymore, but for what you are. The feathered hooves, the enormous gentle eyes, the improbable grace of something that big moving that well. You became a show horse. You became a symbol. You pulled the wagons in the advertisements, and the parades, and the people watching always felt something they could not quite name, which was probably just the specific feeling of watching something that was built for a world that no longer exists, still moving through this one with complete dignity. Number 4, the Arabian. You are the oldest. This is not arrogance. This is archaeology. Your type has been documented for 4,000 years in the deserts of the Arabian Peninsula, and your bloodline runs through nearly every modern breed of horse on Earth. Thoroughbreds carry your blood. Warm bloods carry your blood. The quarter horse, the standard bred, the Morgan, all of them have you somewhere in their ancestry. You are the source material, the original text from which most of the rest of horse history was written. You were shaped by the desert and by the Bedouin people who bred you with an intimacy that was genuinely unusual in the history of human-animal relationships. The Bedouin brought you into their tents. They treated you as family. They selected not just for speed and endurance, but for intelligence and for a particular gentleness of disposition that made you safe to live alongside in close quarters. This is why you are the way you are: sensitive, curious, deeply bonded to the humans you trust, and genuinely difficult for the humans you do not. You are not a beginner's horse. You feel everything. The shift in a rider's mood, the tension in a leg, the hesitation in a hand. You process all of it, and you respond to all of it, which makes you extraordinary in partnership and exhausting in conflict. Your body is built for distance. Your chest houses a massive lung capacity. Your metabolism runs efficiently on less food than other horses your size require. You were bred to cross hundreds of miles of desert and arrive ready to fight if necessary, and this endurance lives in your cells even now when the longest journey you are likely to make is a trailer ride to a show. You compete in endurance racing and you dominate it. 50 miles, 100 miles, distances that exhaust other breeds are a comfortable afternoon for you. You finish these races looking like you could go again. The judges check your heart rate and your hydration and your legs, and they find nothing wrong because nothing is wrong. You were built for this. You have always been built for this. Number 5, the quarter horse. You are the most popular horse in America, and you know it in the way that things which are genuinely useful always know their own value without needing to perform it. You are not flashy. You are not ancient. You are not the product of desert mysticism or Scottish weather or the peculiar engineering of the racetrack. You are the product of a continent that needed horses that could work cattle, and you are extraordinarily good at it. Your name comes from the quarter-mile sprint, a distance at which you are the fastest horse alive, faster even than the thoroughbred over that short ground. You accelerate like something that was always meant to be going that speed. Your body is compact and muscular in a way that is immediately legible as functional. You are built low and wide and powerful through the hindquarters, and you can stop from a full gallop in a distance that seems physically improbable. This is called a sliding stop, and when a reining horse executes it, the back hooves dig into the dirt, and the horse sits down into the earth and glides, and it is one of the more dramatic things a 1,200-pound animal can do while technically still being under control. You do this. You do it well. You also cut cattle, which means you read the movement of a cow and mirror it and block it using an intelligence that is not entirely explained by training. Something in you understands the geometry of the chase at a level that feels almost instinctive. You are everywhere. Ranch horses, rodeo horses, trail horses, show horses, children's horses, therapy horses. Your temperament is level, and your mind is sensible, and your body is durable, and your willingness is genuine. And this combination of qualities means that almost any horse-related context you find yourself in, you are adequate to it. There is no drama in your life. There is work, and there is rest, and there is the particular satisfaction of a job done correctly. And you live long, and you live well, and when you are old, you are often kept past usefulness because the people who have worked alongside you do not know how to imagine the barn without you in it. Number 6. The Friesian. You are black. Almost always black. A deep, absolute black that does not fade in summer the way other dark horses do. And you carry this color the way certain things carry their defining characteristic. Completely, without variation, as though any other possibility was never seriously considered. You come from Friesland in the Netherlands, and you are old, genuinely old, with records of your type appearing in medieval manuscripts and tapestries and the illuminated edges of documents that were written when horses were still the primary technology of war. Knights rode horses that looked like you. This is not a metaphor. This is history. You are a Baroque horse, which is a category that means something specific about proportion and movement. A deep arched neck, a full mane that falls in waves, a tail that is never docked, legs feathered like the Clydesdale, but finer. Movement that is elevated and round and theatrical in a way that makes watching you trot feel like watching something that is performing even when it is not. You were bred to look magnificent while carrying an armored man through chaos, and that mandate has never entirely left your body even now that the chaos is a dressage arena and the armor is a rider in a black coat. You have a reputation for being willing and sweet-tempered and genuinely eager to please, which is a combination that makes you beloved by riders who want partnership rather than negotiation. You also have a reputation for health challenges that come with your breeding. Metabolic sensitivities, skin conditions under that heavy feathering, a body that requires more management than your cheerful disposition would suggest. You are, in the way of many things bred primarily for beauty, somewhat higher maintenance than your temperament implies. But you are also genuinely beautiful, and in the specific economy of the horse world, beauty has always been worth something. Number 7. The Mustang. You are wild, or you were, or you contain the memory of it so completely that the distinction sometimes collapses. You are the feral descendants of horses brought to North America by Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century, horses that escaped or were released and moved out into the continent and became something that had not existed on that land for 10,000 years. A wild horse, running free across the Great Plains and the desert Southwest, living by the logic of the herd and the season and the water source and nothing else. Your life in the wild is not romantic in the way people imagine. You travel constantly. A wild band of Mustangs may cover 20 miles in a day looking for water and forage. You survive winters that kill other animals. You know predators, mountain lions, occasionally wolves, and you have a threat response so finely tuned that you can be running before your conscious mind has finished processing what startled you. The hierarchy of the herd is real and physical and enforced daily. You know your place in it. You know every horse around you by smell and by sound and by the specific way they move. Then you are gathered. Helicopters push you into a trap, and you are loaded into a trailer, and you arrive at a holding facility, and everything you knew, the space, the herd, the constant movement, is gone. This is the part of the Mustang story that sits uncomfortably in the middle of the American mythology. There are too many of you for the land, the government says. The land has also shrunk considerably, but that part of the sentence is sometimes left off. You wait in holding pens. Some of you are adopted through programs that train you and place you with private owners. Some of you are trained by prison inmates in programs that are good for both of you. Some of you wait for years. If you are adopted, you bring the wild with you into domestication in a way that other horses do not. You are not naive. You have not been handled since birth. You must be convinced, genuinely convinced, that the human in front of you is not a threat, and this process cannot be faked or rushed. And the people who do it well describe it as one of the more honest conversations they have ever had with another living thing. When you trust completely. When you do not, you make that clear. You are not a complicated horse. You are simply a horse that has not forgotten what it is. Number 8, the Haflinger. You are small and golden, and you have a flaxen mane that falls like something out of a children's illustration, and people see you and feel immediately that you are charming, which you are, but you are also considerably more capable than your storybook appearance suggests. You come from the mountains of Austria and northern Italy, from the Hafling village in the South Tyrol, and your ancestors carried supplies up mountain passes that no wheeled vehicle could navigate. You are a mountain horse. Your feet are excellent. Your balance is excellent. Your ability to pick a path across difficult terrain while carrying a load is something that flatland horses with twice your size cannot replicate. You are used today for everything: trail riding, therapeutic riding programs, light draft work, dressage, driving. You are the horse that fits into gaps, that does the jobs that need doing without requiring a specialist. Children ride you, and adults ride you, and elderly riders who have downsized from larger horses find in you a combination of steadiness and sensitivity that keeps them in the saddle for years longer than they expected. You live a long time. You stay sound. You eat less than your workload would suggest you need, which is a quality inherited from ancestors who survived on mountain grass and not much else. You are not famous in the way the Thoroughbred is famous or the Arabian is famous. You do not carry 4,000 years of documented history. You are not the horse of kings or of desert warriors or of medieval knights. You are the horse of the person who needed to get something done and needed a horse that would help them do it and would still be there tomorrow to do it again. This is not a small thing. This is, in many ways, the most important kind of horse there is. Number 9, the Appaloosa. You are spotted. Not subtly spotted. Dramatically, unapologetically, visibly from across a field, spotted. Your coat patterns have names: leopard, blanket, snowflake, roan. You can be white with dark spots across your entire body, or dark with a white blanket thrown across your hindquarters, or anything in between. And your skin is mottled pink and dark in a way that is unique among horse breeds, and your eyes show white sclera like a human eye, which gives you an expressiveness that solid-colored horses do not have. You look like someone made a decision. You are most closely associated with the Nez Perce people of the Pacific Northwest, who bred you with a sophistication and selectivity that produced a horse of genuine quality. Fast, hardy, sure-footed, and visually distinctive enough that a Nez Perce warrior on an Appaloosa was recognizable at a distance. The Nez Perce were among the most skilled horse breeders on the continent, and you were their masterwork. When the United States Army defeated the Nez Perce in 1877 and the horses were dispersed, your breed nearly disappeared. It was reconstructed in the 20th century by people who understood what had been almost lost. You carry this history in your spotted coat without knowing it, which is perhaps the most honest way to carry history. You are a ranch horse now, a show horse, a trail horse. You are versatile and tough, and your feet are famously hard, and your endurance is good. People who own you tend to become specifically devoted to the pattern, to this particular way of being a horse, and they do not easily go back to solid colors. You are, once seen, difficult to unsee. This is true of very few things, and it is entirely true of you.